We're live. Okay. Think I already got someone here. Make sure you check in as you log in. One minute. I have a 4-year-old trying to enter the garage. Good morning, guys. Hey, I got class right now. What do you need to find?
I need to find this thing here.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say bye.
Bye.
Go on. Okay, guys. Yeah, check in and I'll take roll. Getting interrupted here by a little one. Brian, Solis, Rodriguez, Cerna, Sanchez, Barajas. What do you want, babe?
I need to get
Garcia, Corpella. Baby, hurry up, okay? Rendon, Samano, Xiola, Sanchez, Veronica Garcia, Sanchez, Garcia. Baby, grab your stuff and go. Go on. Abdiel. Last name, Abdiel. Last name, please. This goes fast. I'm trying to stay up with it. Lobos. Ramirez. Angel Ramirez. I'm getting it, guys. Jack. Is it Jack? Ellie. Colin O. Escobar. Cecilia Vargas. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Michael Sparks. Ayala. Eric Ayala. Sparks. Go on. Jams. Ayala. Vidal. Samuel Horst. Madrid, that's it. Gotcha. Fernandez. Got you, Ellie. I got you. Josue Garcia. Hey, go inside. Go on. Andrea Sanchez. Gotcha. Okay. Got everyone there. Good. All right. Hey, a couple things. Guadalupe, good morning. First and foremost, follow instructions. If the assignment says list and explain, then just list and explain. If it says define. If it says a paragraph, then a paragraph, not a sentence, right? Or in 1 to 2 paragraphs and you write 1 to 2 sentences. Doesn't work, right? You're not going to get credit, at least not full credit. So make sure that you're following instructions. Out. 5, 4, this is what I have to deal with here. 3, go. 2, 1, beat it. Love you. Okay. So make sure that you are following instructions, right? Number 2, be on time. And number 3, don't email me if you're not on time, right? I don't want the email, oh, I turned it in late or I couldn't. Right. I got it. In Canvas, excuse me, in Canvas, I can see everything you're doing. I can see how many minutes you've spent on Canvas. I can see that you turned in something late or on time or what have you, so on and so forth. So spare me the emails. I don't need to know that your computer this or that, or you couldn't submit the assignment and Canvas won't let me submit the assignment. Canvas will let you submit the assignment. Okay. Canvas is there to submit assignments. That's Canvas's purpose, at least one of its purposes. So figure it out, work through it, jump through the hoops. That's what you got to do. That's where you're at in life. Okay. All right. Moving on. If you open up your Canvas, that graphic to this kind of first topic that we started last week with physical, emotional, and spiritual, or excuse me, physical, emotional, and intellectual wellness. We're going to finish the other 3. And I know there's actually 7 on there. One of those is financial. I'm going to split financial out of that. I'm going to talk in a couple of weeks about finances. Why? Because they're a source of stress for most people. But more importantly, there's things that you can start doing now financially to make your life significantly easier and significantly less stressful when you get older. So with that said, today we're going to focus on interpersonal wellness, spiritual wellness, and environmental wellness. I'll give you your question and we'll move on. Okay. Any questions so far? Fire away in the comment section or live chat section. Let me know. Okay. Interpersonal wellness. When we say interpersonal, what we mean is between you and another person, right? Not inter. So how do 2 people get along well? Better yet, how do you foster good relationships, working professional relationships, intimate relationships, all types of relationships? So probably it's pretty widely understood that the most important aspect of an interpersonal relationship is what we call good communication. Good communication is kind of a really broad term. So let's break that down a little bit. And when we communicate first, obviously we talk, we listen, but we also do something else when we're communicating, or even not when we're communicating. In other words, we're always communicating. So let's talk about listening first. Just really quickly, listening, talking. Let's start with talking. Sorry. Tone, intention, communicating with honesty, communicating with passion, compassion, crucial, right? Listening, crucial as well. Hearing someone, not speaking over someone, all those are important aspects of communication, as we know. How do they relate? I probably in so much that, I'll tell you what my dad used to tell me. He'd say, son, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should listen as twice as much as you speak. That's probably a pretty healthy piece of advice for most people. So in addition to speaking and listening, we have something else going on. And that is commonly referred to as nonverbal communication. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is the way you look, the way you interact, the way you smile, the type of eye contact you make, the vibe you give out. Those are all crucial. In other words, neurologically, you're always interpreting information. Right now, I'm sitting on a chair. My hands are in front of me. I may grab a pen and write. I may be looking down at the comment or the live chat section and trying to answer a question. There's a lot of things going on that you're constantly interpreting. You're doing the same emotionally and mentally as well. In other words, when you're talking to someone, you're ultimately deciding on whether or not you like said communication and whether or not you have plans to continue that relationship. Your body's always interpreting information, always, always, always. So that X factor is really, really, really important. I've seen it played out. Where you know where it really plays out? In interviews is where it really plays out, because that first impression where they look at you, they get a feel for you, they ask you a couple questions, they look at your tone, they're watching you intently, to just try to get a feel for whether or not you're going to fit in that organization. At no point in your life do you feel that more, and you feel that because the spotlight's on you. However, that's happening all the time, right? Every person you meet in a way is judging you. Every person who's looking at you in a way is judging you. And I don't mean this negatively or with a negative connotation. It's just human nature. Deciding whether or not you want to continue a relationship with a person is something that you need to be aware of, right? Spiritual wellness. Obviously, when we talk about spiritual wellness, we can dip into religion, prayer, meditation, yoga, things of that nature, believing in a higher cause, having a capacity for love, a capacity for compassion, for understanding and having sympathy and empathy for people. Those are all really important. But I think the linchpin in spiritual wellness is really about the need to have a higher calling, the need to be a part of something bigger than you. This is evident across a number of different situations, even at school. You have people who join teams, join social groups, join causes, people who volunteer their time. I can't tell you how many friends I see, old high school friends and family and cousins, doing breast cancer walk, save the boobie walk, AIDS awareness stuff. I have one friend that reads to area underprivileged kids in the area. He just goes to the Boys and Girls Clubs on Tuesday afternoons and just reads and then like shoots hoops with kids. Just the sense of giving back, right? The sense of there's a higher cause, and maybe that's God, maybe not. Maybe you label it differently. Maybe it's the human race. Maybe we're all in this together. I mean, who knows? However you want to define it, you can define it, but it's a pretty basic human characteristic to want to be a part of something greater than you, to feel a cause. And this is even done in employment. I mean, this is why a lot of people teach, or a lot of doctors are doctors, or a lot of lawyers are lawyers. As negative as their jobs can be sometimes, or the negative press that their job can get sometimes, they feel a conviction, right? A conviction towards a purpose, towards the law, towards social justice, whatever it is. So yeah, spiritual wellness has the capacity for love. It has compassion, forgiveness, altruism, caring for others, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. But I think more specifically, what it has is the need and the willingness to be a part of something bigger than you. Okay. And then lastly, believe it or not, wow, we're getting through this pretty quick. This is beautiful. Environmental wellness. How do we practice? Good morning, Samantha. Glad you could join us. How do we practice environmental wellness, right? What are kind of the key components of environmental wellness? A lot of these things we take advantage of. In other words, one part of environmental wellness is having clean, abundant resources. And there's some exceptions to this sometimes, but pretty much anywhere in America, you can go drink out of a water fountain and you're going to be 100% okay. That's not the case for a lot of countries, right? So the fact that we have clean, available water, clean, available, for the most part, air, our natural resources are, maybe not perfect, Environmentally, we're not perfect, but we're significantly cleaner than a lot of other countries. And that's important. And that's probably something that we need to know, but it's probably something that we take advantage of, right? Maintaining sustainable development, maintaining sustainable environments, crucial, right? And I think a lot of our energy consumption is going towards that. We're trying to move towards solar, move towards reusable energies, all very important. However, just on a personal level, there's kind of two things we're going to kind of deal with. We're going to have like environmental wellness, like the environment, like globally. But we also have our personal environment and our work environment, right? So we need to make a couple of distinctions. So continuing down kind of the global environment, reducing and reusing as much as possible is probably the key point here. Reducing in the sense that I hate to say it, but eating well actually makes the reducing of the materials you use significantly easier. Why? Because when you buy fruits and vegetables, they're minimally packaged, right? They're not all the time. I mean, obviously some are, strawberries and stuff like that. Berries come in plastic, but potatoes and onions and bananas and celery and carrots and onions, all those things, they come bare. You end up putting them in a plastic bag. So the bottom line is, when you eat well, when you buy good, clean meat, you eat fruits and vegetables, you end up using a lot less plastic, and you actually end up reducing your carbon footprint. The other thing is, get some chickens. I know it sounds kind of weird, but a couple backyard chickens. And I've heard stats along the lines of every other house or every two houses on the average American street had just a couple of chickens. We would reduce the amount that we put in a landfill by up to 25%. Okay. And why is that? Well, because chickens eat scraps. I have chickens. And so all of our fruit and vegetable scraps, we don't necessarily throw them away. We just set them aside. And then at the end of the day or every other day, we just take them down and throw them to the chickens. So obviously we're reducing what we throw into the waste bin, and obviously it's a food source. You get eggs out of it. I can't tell you the last time we bought eggs. So, egg cartons again, but just reusing the material you do get to your house. Don't ask me why, but kids love cardboard. I save almost every cardboard box like we get from a delivery from Amazon, or like I bought some boots the other day, new pair of work boots, and the cardboard box is already being used by my kids. They draw on them, they put stuff in them. Sometimes they shove the cat in there and laugh. Like, there's all kinds of weird things going on with cardboard boxes around here. So repurposing those materials, repurposing things in your house. An old bleach bottle, the spray bottle, that stuff can be washed out and used for other chemicals, or buy the bigger jug and pour it into the spray bottle that you bought, 3-4 big jugs ago. That's the way to do it, right? Eliminate as much as you can. Your personal environment, your personal workspace, keeping your car clean, right? Keeping your desk at home organized, your life organized, writing things down, having a method of going about your daily routine. It typically signifies someone who's functional. And I'm not saying you're dysfunctional if you're messy or if you don't have a list, but by and large, if you have your life in order, your room in order, your car in order, you're typically on a path to a fairly successful life, if that makes sense. And then lastly, we have work environment, right? So your work environment, a lot of people your age have a tendency to be in food service, have a tendency to be in customer service, where you're dealing with a lot of people, dealing with a lot of different customers. Just be conscious of the environment that you're putting yourself in. with certain behaviors. So what do I mean by that? I've seen landscapers before walking around with a bag of weed and feed, grabbing fertilizer or weed and feed. It's not even fertilizer, it's weed and feed, which is different. With their bare hand and just throwing it out, breathing the dust and throwing weed and feed out with their bare hands. That's not smart. Put it in a fertilizer applicator and apply the fertilizer the way it's supposed to be fertilized or the way it's supposed to be applicated. I worked in bars and restaurants a lot growing up and going through college, and I always cringed when I saw the bussers grabbing people's forks and knives and plates and then ducking behind the bar and taking a bite of their sandwich. I always thought, dude, you just touched like 30 forks from 30 different people. Probably not a good idea. Or if you're the guy at Walmart, they're like Johnny Vomit on aisle 3, and you walk over there without gloves on, or you're not protecting yourselves, you got to clean the toilets at the Walmart or Home Depot, and you're not protecting yourself with a mask and all that spray getting on it. That you don't want that stuff, right? So taking care of yourself, following proper safety procedures, all of those kind of important safety liability things for you and for your company or whoever you're working for are important to follow. Okay. Your question, right? Your question. And I'm going to type this in, but I'm just going to explain it briefly first. When we talk about environmental wellness, right? We have the environment, we have your personal environment, we also have your work environment. Let's go back to like the global environment. There's a very important concept in environmental economics. So in understanding how economics and in our care of the environment kind of intertwine, right? And that is called the user pays principle. So here's your question for the day. Okay. I want you to Google user pays principle in environmental economics. This is really weird. Anyways, your question is Google user pays principle.